Welcome punters to the Thomas Tipper Show for this week. Moonee Valley Cox Plate on this Saturday. The world's most famous weight for age race on grass, run over the famous 2,040 metres. Been some very good horses win this race. We'll run through races 1 to 10. A few will run through more quicker than others and try and concentrate on the more favoured races for the day. Good track at Moonee Valley at the moment. We're doing this show on a Thursday night. However, there is 10 to 20 millimetres of rain predicted for Saturday, so just watch out for that one. But it is what it is. We can only do the track on what it is at the moment, which is rated good, and hopefully we'll be able to tip a few winners. Welcome, Dan.
Welcome, yeah, welcome. It was a bit of a rough day last week, but
Well, we did say that. We said that last week. It looked very tough on paper. If you back a few winners last week, you were going to finish well in front. Unfortunately, we didn't go that good. My recap, we tipped a few place getters. My best was Bandersnatch in the last in Melbourne. It ran a good second. You could have got each way. I think you might have got your money back. And of course, I mentioned I didn't want to take on the Champ Nature Strip. I said if I was to have a bet in that, which I did, I was to back Marzu to run a place. So I got a bit lucky there. Marzu run a place at about $3.70 the place. So a little fish are sweet, as they say, but not a very good day with many winners. How'd you go?
yeah, I only had the one winner, I think. Like I said, I had a couple of place getters, but I think I only tipped Ellsberg, I think, last week. I just thought it was just a class above them. I think it was $3.30. I think
Yep.
I paid at the end and won like a good thing, won by 3 or 4. So it was, like we said, a rough day for the racing, but we tipped a couple of winners and a fair few place getters. But
Any horses to follow from last week, Dan?
yeah, I've just gone the one, I think. I've just gone Montefiore. I know we've sat and we've watched the replay, and like we said, it was huge. Like, it was huge on the weekend, and I've actually had something on it for the big race on Tuesday, which is a big dance on Tuesday, the Melbourne Cup. So
Yeah, it certainly was. It was very, very unlucky. Got turned sideways. I actually watched the replay again today. I got to spare 5 minutes and watched the replay today, and it got dead set turned sideways at the top of the straight and stopped. Had to come again. Flash from nowhere to run fourth. The only query is the 3,200, of course, going from 2,400 to 3,200. Many horses will stay 2,400. A lot don't get the 3,200, but the way it finished the race, it looked like it was going to get the 3,200. So Montefiore for you. I've actually got 2 or 3 to follow. Montefiore was one of them. I mean, anybody who watches it can see it. It sticks out very clear as the horse with the flashing light on it. The other horse I thought was really good in the Cup, as far as a Melbourne Cup performance goes, was, I think they pronounce it Jewess. It was no closer than 5 wide the whole trip. If you watch the replay, it's the one on the outside of the orange cap. Finishes about 7th in the run, but would have finished much closer if it didn't have to travel that extra lot of metres. So Jewess, so they're out of the Caulfield Cup for me to follow. And I tipped him 2 weeks ago as a horse to follow because he made up many lengths in a Group 1 in Sydney. Unfortunately, he did the same thing over the 12 or 1,300 metres again last week in a horse called Brutality at about 40 to 1 again. He came from the clouds. I think he ran 5th in a very close finish. And he's also, look, he once they get him to a mile, he will definitely win a race. So Montefiore, Brutality, Jewess, the ones to black book for me from last week on a very tough week of racing. All right, we'll move on to this week's program at Moonee Valley, races 1 to 10, where the track's rated a good 4. The first race made it to dartboard. It's a 1,000-metre sprint at Moonee Valley. Very short straight at Moonee Valley. Often pays to be, well, it can be one or the other. It's either very leader biased or very fair, where they can win from everywhere. I like racing. I like backing horses that race on the speed at Moonee Valley. Particular jockeys ride Moonee Valley better than other jockeys. Damien Oliver, as much as I hate to say it, rides Moonee Valley very well. Craig Williams. And I think going through the form without starting at race 1, I went through them earlier. I think Jamie Carr will win the Jockeys Challenge this week. She's on a lot of good horses. riding in super hot form at the moment. So Jamie Carr to win the Jockeys Challenge early. But in race 1 over the 1,000 metres, I went for number 3 here in Kappa 39. Damien Lane, Nick Ryan. Look, Nick Ryan's yard's going really, really good. It's a 3/4 brother to a horse that won 9 races. So stab in the dark. I'm a bit of a follower of mares or half sisters or brothers that win races. Well, it's kept in the family, you know. So I've just gone race 1, number 3, but no confidence. Dan?
Yeah, I've gone a bit same. It was pretty hard. I mean, I think they're all first starters. Once again, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, it's really hard trying to find the first starters, especially with no trial form. There's not a lot of trials going around, but like we said, they're just a bit too smart now, the trainers. They don't really publicly trial them anymore, so it's a bit hard that way. But I've just gone with just a connection. I just thought, you mentioned Jamie Carr, so I've just gone her in the first with Tony McAvoy runner in Soldier's Rum. I think it's at $3 or $3.50 or something like that.
Yeah,
just think trying to find a combo that usually works, and hopefully we can get that one up to start us off for a good day.
It's a no bet race for me. You having a bet?
Nah, no bet for me.
No, me neither. Race 2, we go to the 1,000 metre, also a 1,000 metre scamper. Not a bad field this. Esther Lorick has got good form at Moonee Valley. Sartorial Splendor's been out of a place once only at Moonee Valley. $5.50 the field. I actually went for the top weight here in Markovic, or Malkovic, I think they pronounce it. Timmy Clark, it's a speed horse. Timmy Clark, a very, very good front running jockey. Bjorn Baker's brought him down. He's third up from a spell. I just think he'll find it much easier than his last 2 runs, where admittedly he has run down the track behind horses like Coolangatta and Eduardo, but no Coolangatta and Eduardo in this race. So I went for Malkovic at about the $8 and $2.60. Bet each way, couple of bucks each way, just to watch it run around. But once again, a no bet race for me.
Yeah, I've gone a horse called Sartorial Splendor. We just mentioned goes really, really good at the Valley, up on the speed. It's probably nearly the best bet of the day for me, I think, going early, but just loves the Valley and loves it, goes the trip. We've got John McNeil on board. I know we're a big fan of him. We've been following him for a fair while now.
Drew Barrier won.
Yeah, Drew Barrier won. I mean, it carried 61 kilos last start. Admittedly, it was in a benchmark race and over 9.55, but I think it'll beat by 0.1. Gets a swing in the weights, drops 6 kilos, so I just think it's a real good chance, Johnny Sadler.
Okay, having a bet, sounds like you are.
I think so.
Okay, there's our first for the day. Race 3, the 1,200 metre Red Anchor. Oh, he was a good horse. Red Anchor, 1,200 metres. I went for the top weight here in St Jarden. Jamie Carr, $6. I mentioned Jamie before. Barrier 1. Not feating far behind Jacquino 2 starts back. Jacquino's a very, very promising horse. St Jarden, not with any great deal of confidence, so I'm keeping my powder dry for a little bit later, but just to have a stab. St Jarden, race 3, number 1, but no bet for me.
Yeah, well, I said this about 4 or 5 weeks ago after it won. I said to Dad, I said this thing's going to win a race, and I said it was nom for the, I think it was, what did I say, it was in
the Manikato on Friday night.
In the Manikato.
This Friday night.
Yeah, it's 4th emergency, probably won't get a start. I've gone Sweet Ride here. We said we've been weighing up a bit of the form with Jacquino and In Secret in the slipper. I said it only got beat, I think it was 2.1 lengths behind In Secret last start. First go at the Valley.
Can be tricky.
Can be tricky, but I just think the way it's going, I just think it's just going to be a bit too good. At $4.20, I just thought it was a good price.
Okay, often the Valley, even though it is a tight turning track, horses often handle it better first up at the Valley than what they do at Caulfield for some reason, although Caulfield's a bigger track. But I think the turn might be a little bit sharper, I'll mention later on. Animo last week, if you watched him, a fortnight ago I should say, he really did wobble around the home turn at Caulfield. He won't do the same at Moonee Valley. So Once again, you're on Sartorial Splendor. Sounds like a bet. No, you're not.
Sweet Ride.
Sorry, you're on Sweet Ride.
Sweet Ride. Like you said, it's just a leader too. It does get up near the front, so if it is going to play that bias, well, I think it's just a big chance with Chad Schofield on board.
So Sweet Ride for you. That sounds like a bet for you at $4.20 and $1.90. Not quite each way, but may get there. All right, race 4, 1,200 metres. I didn't find this much, well, real easy, but I've seen a horse win a couple of weeks ago. It's only had the 2 starts for a 6th. Then they turned it out from the very strong Mara and Eustace stable. Jamie Carr gets on board here, a horse called Grease. It was very, very impressive. As I say, 6th the spell, then won first up from the spell. Couldn't have been more impressive for me. Drew barrier 6. Carr will just get, it'll be 1 or 2 pairs back, I'd say. If it gets it gets all the breaks at the right time, I think you'll see it win, and I think you'll see a very promising horse in number 12, Grease.
Yeah, I tossed this one up actually. I said it's not really one of the better races for the day, but I've actually gone Willing to Beast. I just think 2 weeks between runs. It's going to the Valley. It's got a lot of similar form lines around Sweet Ride. So I think if Sweet Ride can win, the form might sort of weigh in a bit. Like I said, 2 weeks between runs. Should be rock hard fit. And I mean, it's just one of them that just keep chugging along. But hopefully we can get over the line this time.
Okay, you betting?
Nah, no bet for me. Too hard.
No bet. Fair enough. We move to race 5. The Phillies Classic over 1,600 metres. Well, it's a fairly open field, $3.60 at the moment as we look at the prices on Sportsbet. Look, I went for one here. If I was going to have a stab, I'd back this horse to run a place in number 12, Queen Air, Damien Oliver, Lindsay Smith. It's just had the 1 run for a 7th or an 8th that missed the start terribly last start. And then only got beaten 1.7 lengths. Look, it's maiden class, up against the horses that have won a race. $4.60, Queen Air, Oliver, barrier 7. These are the horses he seems to get up on. If I was forced to have a bet, I'd have a small place bet, but nothing else. But race 5, number 12, Queen Air, just for the record.
Yeah, I've actually gone the fave here, Do It La. I think just another one of them things. I think it's just Peter Moody, Luke Nolan. I couldn't really read too far into it. I mean, I did watch its last replay, and its sectionals were very, very good, especially its last sectionals. I mean, it's got a lot of form around. She's Lickety Split, who won a few weeks ago at Flemington. Yeah, no real confidence for me, no bet here, but if it was Do It La.
Okay, fair enough. I was just having a quick look through there. Yeah, 4th behind Lickety Split last start over the mile. Only got beaten 1.7, which is no wonder it's favourite at $3.60. Race 6 is the Schweppes Crystal Mile. Very hard race here. A couple of weeks ago, Dan, you tipped Tuvalu on top. Of course, it was against I Wish I Win that day, where back marks were just no chance. So, I mean, just forget I Wish I Win even went round. They found Tuvalu here. It gets up from 52 kilos or 53 kilos to 59 and a half. Jared Fry on board, Lindsay Smith. $3, $3.20. You might get a little bit better than that. I'm down the bottom, Military Expert. You'll sick of hearing me saying this, but Jamie Carr again. Drawn okay in 9. Doesn't meet. It ran 3rd behind Tuvalu last start, but meets Tuvalu, I think, half a kilo worse off at the weights. But just for the record, Military Expert. Goes good if it does rain, handles the sting out of the ground. The track, it's just had 1 start for 1 win, so I'd be having something each way on that. Race 6, number 9, Military Expert for me.
Well, I've backed up again. I've gone Tuvalu again on top. I just can't see. Like, yeah, it goes up a lot in weight, but I mean, so does everything else in the same race. I mean, I just don't know. I think it won 3 or 4 lengths last start. Once again, I'm really relying on Moonee Valley being very leader biased. Does get up near the front. I mean, it's a Group 1 winner. I said it should be nearly too good for him again at the weights, but yeah, very sceptical over the mile, and I think it's only its first few starts at the Valley, so no bet for me.
Okay. Race 7, we move on to the Drummond Golf Vase Stakes over the Moonee Valley, distance of 2,040 metres. If ever there was a horse screaming out for this, it was the top weight in Berkeley Square. $2.40 is my tip. Look, he's getting short enough. The genius, the best jockey I feel in Melbourne, apart from when J Mac goes down there, of course, or young Shin, he's riding very, very well at the moment. But Craig Williams, he'll ride Berkeley Square here, barrier 7, 2,040 metres, well back last start, charged to the line over a mile. I think he's just got winner written all over him, but he's just a bit too short for me, but I'll tip him on top. Race 7, number 1, Berkeley Square.
Yeah, I'm the same here. We watched the replay together there the other day, and we said that, geez, this thing was super. I think it's a tad short for me, but like you said, super run last start. It was just screaming for a run at the top of the straight and just couldn't quite get it, and ended up peeling 6 or 7 wide to try and get that run and flash late. But like you said, Craig Williams, the best Melbourne jockey in my opinion down that way. I mean, he's just an absolute superstar, especially at the Valley, just rides him really well. So Berkeley Square on top for me.
All right, we move on to the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. Look, it's over 2,500 metres, however, not a real good form race when you're looking for Melbourne Cup runners. However, I do remember a few years ago, Dan, a horse called Prince of Penzance won the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. I think I was in the Tathra pub after playing bowl, or Tathra pub playing bowls one night or during the day, and having a few lemonades, and I had a fair whack at Prince of Penzance in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. It was about $2.20 or $2.30 favourite. Just couldn't handle the Valley. Got back, sort of half wandered to the line. I thought, well, that's the end of that horse. It can't get 3,200 metres. Well, 10 days later, it comes out and wins the Melbourne Cup at 100 to 1. So that was my philosophy on that. But back to the tips. The good thing for me of the day, number 6, Persan. Drops 4 kilos in weight, races on speed, barrier 7, Damien Lane for Mara and Eustace. $4.60. I think if you get $4.60, you're shopping very, very well. You might even get even money to place. He's $4.60, $1.90 at the moment. But he's my best for the day in race 8, number 6, Persan.
Look at my sheet again. Unbelievable. Yeah, I've gone Persan again. I mean, I've been tipping it the last couple of weeks now, and it's just been absolutely super. Genuine stayer, 2,500, you said it was the race?
Yeah, 2,500.
Yeah, 2,500. I mean, I think it's run 4th in the Melbourne Cup, and it's no doubt about it. Running the trip out. But like I said, it's just been super, and it gets a lot better at the weights too this week. So it's probably nearly one of the best bets for the day for me as well.
Of course. Now we're getting a bit of a following down, which is a bit exciting. It's only our 3rd show, but we've had people ringing in and asking us a little bit about ourselves, or getting on Facebook and saying, hey, you blokes, a couple of weeks ago you tipped a heap of winners. Can you tell us something about yourself? And a bloke in the down the Snowy Mountains, Riverina area, he's jumped on board, wants a hat and a t-shirt and whatever else we can get him. But I'm going to tell you, Mitch, you're paying for it. You're not getting it for nothing. But anyway, the bush bookie, I'm going to call him. His name's Mitchell. I won't reveal his last name, but he's actually tipped us one here. He sent through a message saying that Francesco Gardi, please tip this on top. James McDonald, Chris Waller. All I can say, Mitch, is anyone can tip the favourite, but we'll get you a hat in the mail.
We'll send you on the way, Mitchy boy.
All right, race 9. Well, best race on grass in the world, the Cox Plate, best weight for age race. Over the 2,040 metres. Wow, what a race this is. I said a couple of weeks ago that this horse will win that day, which he did, and then he'll win the Cox Plate. Well, I haven't changed my mind, but I'm very, very wary of one horse. Of course, I speak of, a couple of weeks ago, I spoke of the champ Animo. He absolutely mowed him down after wobbling around the home turn at Caulfield. Didn't look like he was going to win. I thought Almost Thunderstruck was going to stick his head down and win, but through guts and determination and sheer talent, he got there. Well, that's why we see him start favourite this Saturday in the Cox Plate at $2.40. Many people say he should have won the Cox Plate last year when the horse just laid all over him. The protest, under normal circumstances, I'm sure the protest would have been upheld, but in a big race like this, they don't like to uphold second against first, so unlucky he went down by a short half head last year. I think he will win, as long as they don't let Zaki get away at the front. First time this year, this preparation, Zaki's drawn inside of Alligator Blood. Alligator Blood's drawn 10, Zaki's drawn 1. Usually when they've met both the speed horses, it's the other way around, and Alligator Blood just gives him no peace at all in front. So I think Zaki will jump to the front. Alligator Blood will sit outside him this time. Zaki to get a much, much softer run. If he can skip clear, and if Animo gets caught up in the traffic behind trying to get out, at some stage Zaki will look the winner. But I think Class Animo can mow him down. But I don't think you'll miss if you take the Cornella. Look, it won't pay much. $4.20 Zaki, $2.40 Animo. But big field, the Cornella might pay $6, but Animo to beat Zaki for me.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking it up for weeks now. Animo, it's just a absolute superstar. Like you said, we called it 3 weeks ago. We said it'll win its next start, and it did. We said it'll win its next start, it did. Now it's onto the Cox Plate, and we declared it for the Cox Plate. I just think it's going to be too good. I mean, yeah, it did wobble last time, but
He won't round the valley.
I don't think he will around the valley. I'm a bit sceptical of a couple of them. We don't really know a lot about the import, the El Bodegon, I think they pronounce it. Yeah, it's having its first start. I mean, they said this about, I think it was Bayard, I think, when it tried to take on Winks, it was going to bash Winks, and Winks absolutely give it a cold. But yeah, I'm with you, mate. I've gone Animo on top. I think it's just too good. If I was going to have a cheeky place bet, only just off its last start with our eye catches, I'd have something on Law of Indices to run a place. It's a big price. $7, I think it's $7.50 to run the whole at the moment. It was absolutely huge last start, and might just sneak a place, like you said, but I think Animo is just a class above him.
Needs a lot of speed on Law of Indices. Don't know how he'll quite handle the valley. He looks more of a Flemington horse to me, but he came from a mile back last start in a good race. Look, as I say, not much speed in this race. I can just see Zaki and Alligator Blood to the front. Interesting how they rode it on Thunderstruck last start. They rode him much, much closer to where they usually ride him. He's usually out the back smoking his pipe and just safe for one big run at him. He was fourth the fence and he got a gun run and got beaten a head or a half head by Animo. Jury's out whether he can stay at strong 2,000 metres with a solid pace on. Alligator Blood, good luck to the connections, but I just don't think he will stay 2,000 metres with a strong pace at all. We know Zaki will. The more rain that comes, I honestly think it will suit Zaki, providing the fence is okay. Drawn barrier 1, look, he gets all the favours, but I was told many years ago, and no matter what sport you play or watch, you never knock a champ, and I think Animo's getting very close to that bracket. So, yeah, what a race it will be.
Just touched on that too, mate. They said that, you know, Alligator Blood had a few excuses. I mean, yeah, they did say Gay Waterhouse came out and said that he did throw a shoe. Whether that's a good enough reason to I think not. I just don't think it's going to run 2,000 metres. But like we said, it's excuses. But I just don't think it's there. And Anamo's just a champ.
Gay. As much as we love you, Gay. Every interview you see with Gay, every one of the horses is going to run very well or win.
That's right.
But
something's always wrong.
But hey, he's a very good horse. Alligator blood. I'd love to have a horse in the Cox Plate. They're just things you dream of. Even if it started 100 to 1, I wouldn't care. But we move on to the last. Well, talk about dartboards. This is at 10 to 6. This will be a get out if I'm in front come the last. I won't be betting. If I'm behind, well, I will be betting. Like I went for in the last race 10, number 5, My Whisper. Timmy Clark to ride. Last start, I thought it was a very, very good run behind Nimmerley. Now, Nimmerley is a Group 1 horse. 1,400 metres at Rose Hill last start. Just got beaten 4.2 lengths last start, even though it says 13 of 16 in the race book. So My Whisper each way for me. Peter and Paul Snowden, third up from the spell, $6 and $2. No flash price. If you're in front, sit out. If you're behind, well, chips in. But just for the record, race 10, number 5, My Whisper.
Yeah, we've gone a bit different again here. I've got the thing below it actually. I've got number 6, Roots. I know it is the fave. I mean, it's 1-2 on the trot now. I know it's a lot of midweek grades, but it does go from, I think it's a benchmark 78 or something along those lines, not a very high benchmark, to an open, well, I assume it's open company this race. Just think, it's been carrying big weight, 60.5 kilos, does get a lot off its back.
Poppy Williams to ride.
Yeah, I just think, it's just a bit, it's one of them things, like you always said, it's a huge, big dartboard to throw at, and if you get one, you get it, but...
He's jumping up a lot in class. I just had a look at his last couple of runs. He jumps from a benchmark 78 last start, which he won very, very well. The start before that, he was in a benchmark 70. So, look, he is a horse on the rise. Yeah, well, Craig Williams, if there's anyone that can get him home, it will be him. Sorello misses in this right up to Arias, the top weight with Benny Mellum on board on my last start. But look, it's a real dartboard for me. So you're on Roots, I'm on My Whisper. All I can say is good luck, whatever you're on in the last.
Yeah, good luck there.
All right, you can go best bet. We'll go best bets for the day.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I've gone real early. I've gone race 2, number 6, Sartorial Splendor. I've gone it. Just loves the valley. Goes really good. John McNeil on. Johnny Sadler. I think he's only taken a couple of runs to the valley, so it's usually a good sign if they're only taking a couple. So
$5.50.
Yeah, $5.50 for me. What's your best bet, mate?
I went for Persian. I think he can win the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, push his way into the Melbourne Cup where he ran a very good 4th last start. Just on weights and measures. The more you watch the show, viewers, you'll realise that I do mention weights a lot where they drop and meet each other better at the weights. I'm a weights and measures man rather than a times man. Persian drops 4 kilos. Damien Lane sticks. $4.60 mightn't be a bad all up. $5 on Dan's horse, Sartorial Splendor all up. Persian, you'll get your $100 for $5, a bit more. But Persian's my best. Best roughie for you, Dan?
Well, it's a really tough one for me to try and find something that really stands out that might run a good race. But I've ended up going with race 4, a horse called Over Shady.
Race 4?
Yeah, Ellerton's got it. Damien Lane on board. We mentioned there, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that we have been following Damien Lane for a long, long time. Just one of them things. I think, like I said, I've just mentioned before, Sadler's only taken a couple there. I think Elton and Zara have only got 1, maybe 2 there itself. So I just thought I'd just try and go a combo thing. Around $26. I just think it might be a half decent chance.
I know, well that'll do me. Just looking at its form, as my old mate, and I know he watches the show, Jeff Turnbull up there in Queensland. Had a maiden grade this horse last start, into a decent Saturday race at $26. I think you'll get it way better than that. But look, I'm not knocking your picks. Good luck. Good luck with that. But he won't be getting any of mine. Over Shady, all right, at 26. But at least you can, at least you tip things that are rough. I went for, well, it's not even rough, but it's the best I could do. Race 6, number 9, Military Expert. It's only $7.50, I should say. I couldn't find anything else, but he's my best. So Pasan, my best bet. Military Expert, my best each way chance at $7.50 and $2.30. And of course, as I said before, if you want to just go wide and not have a, well, you actually do have a bet in almost every race, but you only have one bet, which is called Jamie Carr to win the Jockeys Challenge.
Yeah.
Anything else for you, Dan, to add?
Just got a multi of the day. I think we both nearly agree. I've gone Sartorial Splendor, race 2, number 6. I've gone into Berkeley Square, who we did talk a fair bit about.
Yeah, should win.
And then we've just gone the Champ NMO. I think it's at $33, $34 for the multi. So
okay,
just
nothing wrong with that.
Price, so
nothing wrong with that. All right, anything else you'd like to add, Dan, before we wrap up for this week?
Just a reminder, everyone, that if you've liked the page and like what we do, just make sure that you like and follow and subscribe. And if anyone's wishing to get any merchandise, we have started purchasing hats. We're going to look into t-shirts as such. Hats are $25, so if anyone wants a hat, just send us a message on Facebook and we'll organise one for you.
Yep, very good. We've also got our sponsor, Matthew Smith Racing, coming on board. He's going to supply us a little banner. I spoke to him just yesterday. He's going to do his best to get it to us as soon as he can, and we'll hang that on the wall and sit in front of that. Anyone looking for shares in racehorses with a very, very professional trainer, Matthew Smith at Warwick Farms, your man, and also Robert and Luke Price at Kembla Grange. Really, really good guys. They look after you. They send you up-to-date videos and audios every week. You can get into a cheap horse, have a lot of fun. If you're thinking about it, go and see Matty Smith or ring Robert and Luke Price. Until next week, Dan, show's over, and we shall see you all next week.
Good luck.